In our culture, we're taught to respect our parents. We grow up with the belief that because they gave us life, we owe them everything. But what happens when the very people who are supposed to protect you end up putting you in harm's way? She was 13 years old. Her mother worked incredibly hard to bring them to the United States, and for that, she will always be grateful. Her mother wanted to give her children a better life, and her mother did everything she could to make that happen. You see, her mother had a goal. Her mother did everything she could do to sustain the life they had, to pay the bills so they can have a better life. But that belief is a little too skewed when you realize that her mother would go as far as to ignore accusations of her 13-year-old daughter regarding a sexual assault she's experienced from her boss. Actually, let me rephrase that. She didn't ignore her. She just told her to not do that again, to not act the way she acted towards her boss, and maybe when he approached her next time, it would be a totally different story. That act was sitting on the couch, babysitting his children, and him getting cozy enough next to her by the couch that he felt the need to touch her inappropriately. That act. So even with her mother's sacrifices, there were moments when she needed that protection, and she didn't get it. Instead of receiving that support she needed, she was told to change her behavior. That response taught her an important lesson. Sometimes the people we expect to shield us aren't always able to, and that's okay because it pushed her to find strength within herself. As a kid, she craved attention. Her mom was working abroad, and her dad worked long hours and often came home late. He struggled with his own challenges, and sometimes he wasn't able to be there for her in the way she needed him to be. One night, she was very excited for her father to come home and tell him about her day in school. When he finally came home, he was visibly drunk, and she went through with him what no child or any individual should ever have to go through. I was only about 7 years old. Those were lonely times for me, and as a young child, I often felt lost. I was a lonely, starved for attention little kid who got bullied in school and at home, and who probably wouldn't amount to anything. But here's what I've learned from all of it. Those early experiences, as hard as they were, didn't break me. They made me stronger. They showed me the kind of resilience I have inside, and that's something no one can ever take away from me. My trials don't define me. What defines me is what I've worked to become, a better, stronger version of myself. When the world feels like it's against you, and when everything falls apart with no clear way forward, you have to fight. You fight with everything you have to turn things around. I wanted to look at my future self and feel proud of who I've become. I wanted to know deep down that no matter how hard it got, I would never give up. That I would always find a way to rise and become the best version of myself. Even with everything I've been through, I've always had a heart for helping others. I remember once during a job interview, I was asked what my goals were. And without hesitation, I said that I wanted to dedicate 10% of everything I earned to help children in need. That desire grew. From donating to charities to organizing feeding programs, I began to realize that we could create even more impact. We could help mothers provide for their children in a way that goes beyond just a single act of kindness. That's how Project EVAS was born. Women are natural nurturers. We're resilient, and we have the power to create the lives we envision for ourselves. By empowering women, we unlock a powerhouse of strong, determined individuals from all backgrounds. Through Project EVAS, we aim to support women in becoming their fullest, strongest selves, because when women thrive, they lift up entire communities. And together, we can reach people in need and create lasting change. With Project EVAS, you can become who you are and love who you are. Help us make a difference.
Capture the moment, hold it tight.